Top 15 Hollywood directors and their films. These directors are known for a particular style, whether that is color, shots, or just always using the same actors. Watch enough movies and you'll probably get too familiar with some of the filming techniques and styles used, especially if you like a particular director. Be it a liberal use of lens flares in a Star Trek reboot or a more liberal use of explosions in a film about a screamy Shia LaBeouf and his talking Camaro, Hollywood directors are generally known for their trademarks. If they are brilliant enough, these styles can revolutionize the film industry. They tend to introduce new camera angles, narratives, transition effects, lighting, shot framing, etc. which have never been utilized before to full effect. 15 of them stand out for being legendary filmmakers in an environment rife with half-baked remakes and Fast and Furious. Here are Hollywood's 15 irreplaceable silver screen treasures, in no particular order of hierarchy. 15. The Wachowskis. The Wachowskis may not have a huge filmography to their name, but when it comes to Hollywood they have significantly redefined how big blockbusters movies are shot and their relationship to visual effects. 14. Guillermo del Toro. Guillermo del Toro is easily one of the best directors of this generation. Taking high fantasy and science fiction concepts and bringing a human element to them, del Toro's work is also defined by its visuals, use of practical effects, and the human stories underneath these crazy fictitious elements. 13. Peter Jackson. Peter Jackson has a very classical style in many senses. He is an extremely talented producer and director, having worked on a whole host of various genre pieces including Tintin, Mortal Engines, and They Shall Not Grow Old. His range is quite astounding. But naturally, his career-defining work in Hollywood is that of the Lord of the Rings franchise. 12. Taika Waititi. Taika Waititi has quickly amassed a large following and defined his work by a quirky and zany quality that very few can even attempt to replicate. With fast-moving and witty dialogue punctuating his distinct brand of visual humor, Waititi's work is very much recognizable as his own. 11. Alfonso Cuarón. Alfonso Cuarón has quietly built a cinematic style that is both visually stunning and incredibly competent when it comes to storytelling. It's a style of filmmaking that's built on the idea of narrative first. This was defined early in his career by coming-of-age stories. 10. Quentin Tarantino. Samuel L. Jackson in Pulp Fiction. You'll not find a more spontaneous director than Quentin Tarantino in this list or in Hollywood. His particular film trademark. Anything goes, even the most absurd and unconventional narrative twists. While Tarantino's most noticeable quirk is the overt and comedic violence, his more subtle yet powerful symbolisms come in the form of food. 9. Steven Spielberg. Tom Hanks quiz, Saving Private Ryan. Have you ever seen a dramatic facial zoom in for the main character too many times in the most dramatic moments of the film? Chances are, you've been watching too many Steven Spielberg films. You see, Spielberg loves to convey the emotional weight of the scene with a moderately slow facial close-up. 8. James Cameron. Jake Sully, Sam Worthington. In James Cameron's Avatar, James Cameron is the director Michael Bay wishes he was. The man knows how to handle spectacles, whether with digital or physical props. Pair the set pieces with the most unlikely love story ever or a strong female lead, and you get the full Cameron package. 7. Martin Scorsese. Leonardo DiCaprio and Daniel Day-Lewis in Gangs of New York. Long tracking shots can be difficult from both a technical and artistic standpoint. It basically requires everything to be perfect in one take, otherwise, you start all over again. Still, Martin Scorsese does not shy away from such a bold film shot. Scorsese likes to follow his character's movements in one long continuous tracking shot. 6. M. Night Shyamalan. The Sixth Sense. Bruce Willis. Haley Joel Osment. Often it's difficult for a film to have more substantial twists than the pretzel you're snacking on during movie time. Even so, M. Night Shyamalan manages to pull it off in several of his films. He has blindsided the audience so flawlessly over the years that his name has become synonymous with plot twists. 5. Tim Burton. Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter in Sweeney Todd. Here we go. The patron saint of emos and goths, Tim Burton. All his films either include a deranged Johnny Depp or a color grading so dark and depressing, it will make you want to listen to My Chemical Romance. Also, Tim Burton might be colorblind to anything but white, black, and red. This gives his films a foreboding yet surprisingly charming atmosphere. 4. Christopher Nolan. Do most of the movies you watch confuse you to hell and back? Not necessarily in that order. You might want to give your brain a breather and lay off the Christopher Nolan flicks. Each of them on their own is like solving a 10-sided Rubik's Cube. That's because Nolan likes his non-linear storytelling more than he likes your understanding of the narrative. 3. Alfred Hitchcock. Horror and thriller filmmakers owe plenty to Alfred Hitchcock. He's often branded as a master of suspense in cinema. Such a title for the deceased director was cemented first after Psycho's popularity. Much of the suspense is due to how Hitchcock utilizes the camera angles. He positions them to make it appear that the audience is viewing the film through the character's eyes. 2. Stanley Kubrick. Malcolm McDowell in A Clockwork Orange. There are many aspects you can study in Kubrick's films, and a short segment in a list article would probably not do justice to his filmmaking prowess. Anyway, you'll know a Kubrick film when you see one. His characters are devoid of morality, his camera angles change rapidly from general to personal, and back, and last but not least, the infamous Kubrick stare. 1. Sanderson. 10 regretful movie deaths. Grand Budapest Hotel. Have you ever met a film elitist who frowns at you with scorn every time you say movie instead of film? That person's favorite choice of movies, films, is most likely Sanderson's collection. Every frame in a Sanderson film is art. Every shot is symmetrical from character placement to scene compositions. So basically, every time Sanderson makes a movie, he takes hundreds of thousands of pieces of symmetrical photographs. These were the best film directors from Hollywood. If you like video, hit the like button and subscribe to our channel.